I can't remember there being so much hype around two freshmen in a Sweet 16 game than there is between Paige and Caitlin. I know it's UConn, Iowa, but can you remember two freshmen getting this much attention in a Sweet 16 game or in any game in the NCAA tournament?
I don't.
Everybody's talking about these two freshmen, right? Caitlin and whatever other girl's name is. I'm just kidding.
What is up, guys? I'm excited to be back with another video covering this year's NCAA women's basketball tournament. In this one, we are going to be breaking down the games of Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, the two, freshman phenom of this year, if that's what you want to call them. And obviously, the most anticipated matchup going into the Sweet 16 on Saturday is the Iowa Hawkeyes versus the UConn Huskies. And having Gino and Lisa Bluter here, you guys saw some of their press conferences. It's just some funny moments that I thought would be cool to kind of pick out. And obviously everyone always talks about Paige and Caitlin, but let's remember that this is a team game, and even seeing the coaches' personalities kind of come out in the press conferences is really cool. So I am going to be breaking down the games and kind of comparing Clark's game to Bueckers' game, but let's keep in mind that they got here with a team effort in terms of Iowa versus UConn, not Clark versus Bueckers. So as much as I am going to be covering those two individuals, let's give some credit to everyone else on the staff and the players as well. All right, so how this is going to work is we're going to deep dive into three areas of each player's game. So for Caitlin, who we're going to start with, is we're going to just talk about her ability to kind of just dissect the pick and roll. And she really is a master in the pick and roll, regardless of the coverage that she's seeing. We're going to talk about her three-point range. Obviously, that's what she probably gets the most hype with. And then obviously ending with her basketball IQ that just makes her that complete player that she is. For Paige, we're going to be taking a look at her patented pull-up jumper, the way that she moves off the ball in order to create her shots, and her vision. Her court vision is unreal. So those are the three areas that we're going to be taking a look at in terms of her game today. So if you're looking for a video that's just going to tell you how many points per game they're averaging and assists, this is probably not the one. You could go look those stats up anywhere. I wanted to go deeper and make actual sense of the numbers, see where they're most effective on the floor, use those advanced stats to back up what you're seeing in the clips, and really just deep dive into the basketball IQ aspect of their game. Alright, the first example you're going to see here is Clark coming off a ball screen. Kentucky shows a soft hedge, and Iowa is attacking away from the two side. So the player on the wing raises up a little bit, and Kentucky is forced to help with their low man defender. They tag the roller to make sure that Sanano doesn't get a little pocket pass there. So the wing is open, and Clark is able to see not just her defender, not just Sanano's defender, but also the helper defender. And now she's able to deliver an on-time target pass to the wing for a wide open three. Alright, this next play is pretty much the same type of look from Clark, but instead, Central Michigan here is coming with an aggressive coverage. They're going to hard hedge this ball screen, almost trap it. And for some reason, I guess this was the scout for Central Michigan, is that they have the weak side corner girl already rotated over to the screener, probably to try and steal that pass, but she leaves way too early. This is an easy find for Clark, just whipping the ball across the court to beat that aggressive coverage. But as we go through these clips, and you're going to see a ton of different coverages thrown at Clark, most teams probably want to get the ball out of her hands. So being aggressive and giving up wide open shots in the corner to other players, that's probably the opponent's goal, is to make other people beat them. So when I say that, maybe they messed up their coverage, you have to take into consideration that teams are throwing out, almost desperation coverages here because Clark is just that good. So anytime that you can kind of make her give the ball up and make somebody else score, that might be a win in a lot of these coaches' books. Alright, for this next clip, I wasn't sure whether to keep it in the ball screen section or to move it to the IQ section, but obviously I kept it in the ball screen. Watch her point to where she wants the screen to come. She's selling it with her body. Her eyes are selling lies, as Ryan Pannone would say, right? She's pointing for the screen on one side. Watch the screener's defender jump to that side to be ready to guard her coming off of the screen, when instead she just decides to reject the screen. Seeing that the screener defender cheated early, she gets right to the bucket. This is just a high IQ play. All right, last one for the ball screen section. Now we got a baseline out of bounds play. Inbounds it to the post. They decide to switch on the handoff. Now the guard is late switching out on the ball screen. Clark has way too much separation, and she's able to split the screen with ease and then just tops it off with a behind the back pass. Unreal, but that's just an example of her, destroying a scout coverage. This was an out of bounds play that Central Michigan had probably planned to switch and then switch right back onto the guard, but instead Clark had other plans. All right, 3 clips here real quick. You saw her IQ on display in the other ones, but watch this first clip. She just gets double teamed, easily makes the pass out for a wide open layup to her teammate. This second one, she sees the double team coming again, right? But she spins away from the double team instead of going into a defender. On the last clip, she gets face guarded, right? Kentucky's trying to take her away, not let her get the ball back. She makes a simple cut, backdoor. She just does the little things well. High IQ player. All right, so this is where the fun part comes in for me. And again, I'm not trying to bring a ton of stats in here, but I do like looking at the advanced stats and kind of thinking of, if I was playing against them or if I was scouting Iowa, how would I go about guarding them? And again, I don't know that much. I'm in my first year, but this is, it gets me better, and just thinking about this kind of stuff excites me. So my first takeaway looking at this chart is that Iowa does not take mid-range twos. They do not take shots one step in from the three-point line or outside of the paint, and neither does Caitlin Clark. Now you're looking at her chart. In 2 games, she's taken 23s and only 3 shots outside of the paint. The rest of her 14 shots she's taken have come inside of the lane or around the rim. So if I am going to be going up against Caitlin Clark, I want to bait her in to a long 2 or a mid-range jump shot. I know she's going to knock them down. She's still shooting a great percentage from 2, but again, 3s are worth more than 2. So for me, that's a win if she's taken less 3s than she is 2s. And if you somehow haven't seen her play yet, here's some evidence that she loves the 3 ball. All right, how about a shooter's roll on this last one? Look at that bounce. Ridiculous. So besides just forcing her to take mid-range 2s, how else can we stop her? I don't know if there's really an answer for that, but the other thing I've noticed is that she loves a right to left crossover to get into her jump shot or when she's attacking the basket. If you can keep her on one side of the floor, specifically the right side, I believe, and make her take jump shots going to her right, I think that she's a little bit weaker when she's lifting into a jump shot off of her right hand. I don't know if that's just something I've noticed, but you're going to see in these clips here, when she's attacking right and isn't able to get back to that left hand to get into her jumper, she has a tougher time finishing and making those shots. So again, anything's worth a try at this point, but I did notice that she's a lot more comfortable when she's getting into that right to left crossover to get into her 3-point shot.
The only good thing about it, I can tell you, is you could get up and just walk out. You can't do that during the game, so you're stuck. But there were a couple of times I just got up and I said, I can't watch this. And I just left, and they played better when I wasn't watching.
So as we move into Paige Bueckers, the biggest distinction for these 2 players, for me, in terms of their style of play, is that Clark relies a lot more on the 3-point shot than Paige Bueckers does. Over half of Clark's shot attempts on the year are 3s. Paige Bueckers is a little bit more lenient on the mid-range game, and she loves her pull-up jumper, which you're seeing here. Patented pull-up off of a ball screen, off of a handoff. She loves going to her right, whereas I said to force Clark right, I would say the complete opposite for Paige Bueckers. She loves a little 1-2 step into her jump shot in the mid-range, and that is her money shot. So for me, in terms of the scout for Paige Bueckers going in, I'm either going to try and force her to get all the way to the rim, or I'm going to put a hand up and contest her 3. Can't be open catch and shoots. She's too good. She's going to knock those down, but I'm going to keep her out of her sweet spot, which is that mid-range. What really impresses me about Bueckers is her ability to play within the UConn offense and not always have to have the ball in her hands. She scores off the ball better than any player in college basketball this year with 1 or 2 dribbles and is able to create her shot. You just saw there, she gets a screen, the defender goes under, a nice and controlled, smooth shot fake, 1 dribble pull up within the flow of the offense. In the next one, you're going to see UConn's elbow split action on the weak side. Bueckers gets overplayed, she cuts back door, lays it in without having to take a dribble. Again, the word I would use to describe her game is efficient. You're going to see in this next one, she gets a dribble handoff. They play off of their post so well, whether they're running their chin action or they're running the elbow point series. So there she goes again, gets a handoff, 1 dribble pull up. Again, the last example of her off-ball movement. She's coming off of a wide pin down here, curls, reads her defender, chasing her, right, left, great footwork, and now look at the vision as we get into her passing ability. She's made that shot so many times that the defense thinks she's going to take it because that is her signature shot. Instead, she finds the post player on a slip, dumps it off for an easy 2. Now, these next few plays are just what make her so fun to watch. And again, Clark also has great vision. She's had some phenomenal passes throughout the year as well, but I couldn't cover everything in this video. So here's Bueckers in transition, making the extra pass. And these next 2 clips, you're gonna just see her carving up the Syracuse zone. Look at that pass from above the 3-point line to her post player teammate. Now again, another one, she's gonna be in the middle of that zone, looking for the ball, trying to get in that sweet spot, and she knows exactly where her teammate's going to be. When she flashes here, little no-look pass, how about that? And again, we need more of this in women's basketball because it is just so fun to watch.
The sounds of the court. Look again, another beauty feed and 1.
I think they would tell you, like, hey, you know, we appreciate the attention, but I think it's better if it's left to Iowa versus UConn.
Whoever wins this game wins Freshman of the Year.
First of all, no, I do not think that's the answer to Freshman of the Year, and I don't think me and Paige really care who wins Freshman of the Year. I think there's so many talented freshmen, and obviously it spans over a whole season and whatnot, so obviously we've both had great respective seasons, and I think that leads into your second question. I think that's just so great for the women's game. I think more and more people are noticing, more and more people are watching. I think a lot of people will tune in and watch this game, and that's exactly what you want for women's basketball, and I think that's the whole goal that all women athletes are trying to get across right now. There can be multiple superstars, there can be multiple good players. It doesn't have to be one end-all be-all, and that's what we need to keep growing this game.